What's going on? My name is FreeRunnerX10 and welcome to a brand new video. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Black Squad, specifically the Black Squad closed beta event, which is going on right now. Basically, what's happening is the people at NeoWiz and NS Studio, the publisher and developer of the game, are basically hosting a closed beta session, a couple of sessions actually. They're actually running two closed beta tests. Now, by the time this video goes up, the first closed beta test will have ended, and that ran from July the 13th to July the 15th. It was 3 days, and it has the times on the right hand side of this screenshot or image that tells you the times depending on what time zone you're in. Now, the second closed beta test runs from July the 20th to the 22nd. That is also 3 days. So if you haven't been able to get into the closed beta as of yet, you'll be able to do so. All you have to do is join the Black Squad's official Discord. I will link it in the description below. Go to the closed beta key channel and type in !key, where you'll get a message from a Discord bot, and it will give you a key which you can then activate on Steam. Now, these sessions are in order to basically test the game and make sure that the game is functioning as it should, making sure that the server infrastructure is okay, and then eventually after these closed beta tests, they're going to hopefully release the game on Steam and meet their summer 2017 release date deadline, which they scheduled on the Steam page. They haven't given a specific date as of yet at the time of recording this video, the voiceover for this video, which is the 14th of the 7th, 2017, but they have, however, basically said that it's going to be coming out fairly soon. Now, I have actually made a video on Black Squad before. I actually made a video once I saw this game on the free-to-play up-and-coming games section. It's called Black Squad First Look Rise of the Real FPS. If you'd like to check out this video, it is annotated in the top right-hand corner of the screen. Click the icon and it should open a pop-out menu where you can find the video. Now, in case you've never heard of Black Squad and this is your first time hearing about it, we're going to read the About This Game section on the Steam store page, which is also linked in the description below. So if you would like to read about this game in a bit more detail, the Steam page is linked in the description below. So about this game, Black Squad is a military first-person shooter game using the Unreal Engine 3 to show realistic graphics and dynamic visuals. You can experience 10 different modes from classic to massive multiplayer modes. Easy to adapt and a shooting game oriented for mass military lovers. Black Squad will be released this summer 2017. Now, I can hear you asking a question. Wait, go back to the beginning. Did you just say that this game is running on the Unreal Engine 3? Isn't Unreal Engine 4 the latest Unreal Engine? Why are they not using that? Well, the simple reason is because this game is actually quite an old game. In fact, it's 5 years old to be specific. The game once went by the name of Viper Circle. It was kind of a mix between third person and first person. It was almost like Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Phantoms, which was a free-to-play online Ghost Recon game where you could switch between third person and first person. It was mainly movement is third person, and then aiming and shooting at people is in first person, or a sort of variant of first person. But over the number of years, this game has changed into a pure free-to-play online first-person shooter game, and obviously its name has changed from Viper Circle to Black Squad. So let's talk about Black Squad. Now, the gameplay you're watching in the background is actually from the tutorial. This is the thing that you are offered to do. You don't have to do the tutorial, but the tutorial is there to teach you how to play the game. It's very simple. WASD to move, right mouse button to aim in, aim down sight, left mouse button to fire, G2 switch to grenade, and then left click to throw that grenade. Very simple. If you've played a first-person shooter before, then the mechanics of this game are very similar. However, towards the end of the tutorial, it explains a class-based system that is only used in one game mode, which I'll talk about later on in the video. So it's definitely worth actually playing the tutorial to understand what's going on, but it's very simple and I can explain it in this video either way. But yeah, completing the tutorial actually gives you a reward, which is a grenade, a frag grenade, and a smoke grenade, and a pistol in your inbox, or at least that's how it's working in the closed beta. Now, the rewards you get for actually completing the tutorial, as far as the pistol is concerned, is permanent, but as for the actual grenades, the lethal and non-lethal grenade, which is obviously the frag grenade and the smoke grenade, they're on a 7-day rental cycle, which means after 7 days you need to rebuy those two types of grenades, the lethal grenade and the non-lethal grenade. So after learning that the lethal and non-lethal grenades actually were on a rental cycle, I went exploring the shop to see what the shop had to offer. Now, in the current version of the closed beta, as a closed beta participant, I have unlimited money and I can buy whatever gun I want permanently. However, once the game releases, all of the closed beta stats, all of the closed beta unlocks are going to be completely wiped, as if the closed beta never happened, and people are going to start from scratch. Now, when actually scrolling down the store, I found the lethal and non-lethal grenades. As it stands right now, there's only one lethal grenade in the game, which is a frag grenade, and there's two non-lethal grenades, one being the M18 smoke and the other being a flashbang. Now, when I went on to actually see how you buy the lethal and non-lethal grenades, I saw that there's a way of actually selecting how long you want to buy those lethal or non-lethal grenades for, and the way it works is 1 day, 3 days, 7 days and 30 days, and you cannot buy the lethal or non-lethal grenades for permanent. That's not possible in the current version of the closed beta, and I believe that won't be possible when the game fully releases on Steam. Now, what does that mean for the guns? Well, right now the guns are only being able to be bought permanently through the store in the closed beta sessions. However, I feel that when the game is actually released to Steam, its full release, it's going to follow the same rental cycle as the lethal and non-lethal grenades, meaning you'll be able to only rent these guns for 1 day, 3 days, 7 days and 30 days, which means that if you want to have a gun for a long time, you're going to have to spend a lot of time trying to get a lot of gold. So you have to play and basically put in a ton of hours in order to unlock gold. I'm not sure to the specifics of the gold and how much gold you actually earn from playing matches, because I haven't really been noticing, but it's going to be in a way where it's going to either rely on you to spend a lot of time to actually unlock these guns for a given amount of time, or it's going to try and force you to buy weapons which cost what we'll class as microtransaction currency. And I believe the way that this is going to be set up is you won't be able to buy the free versions of the guns for permanent. I believe that's how it would be set up. You're only going to be able to rent them for 1 day, 3 days, 7 days and 30 days. And if you would like a permanent gun, then maybe that will have to be a microtransaction gun. Now, as it stands right now, there's no microtransactions in the current version of the closed beta, so there's no cash shop, which is kind of worrying. I want to see the cash shop and I want to know what that's like, because in a lot of free-to-play games, there's a cash shop, and within that cash shop, there are guns which look cosmetically better than the freemium versions, which is okay. It's okay to buy cosmetics and look different, you know, pay to stand out. But when it comes to actual game balance, it's annoying when there is a cash shop and you can buy a variant of a gun which is 10 times better than the freemium version, which gives you an advantage, a pay to win advantage. Now, as for customization in the game, there isn't really all that much customization. You'll see a ton of free-to-play games where they say, we've got a ton of gun customization, look what you can change on your gun. You know, you can change the stock, the barrel, the scope and all of these things. You can put these little trinkets on your guns. With Black Squad, there is no customization. You buy a pre-built gun, and that gun can have a scope on it, and whatever that scope is what is going to be on that gun permanently. So you could have a red dot, you could have an ACOG. There's actually a SCAR in the game, a SCAR H, I believe, where it's got like an ACOG scope, and then you press your aim down sight button a second time, and then it goes to a canted red dot sight on this side of the gun. I don't see the point in that. I don't know whether it has a specific stat boost, but it's kind of pointless, and that's kind of all you've got. So you'll get some guns with grenade launchers and ACOGs, some with grenade launchers and hollow sights, and it's just random. There's no way to change those customization options on those guns. Also, as far as character customization is concerned, in the game right now, in the current closed beta test, there's no character customization. What I believe it's going to be in the future is preset character models, and that's all you're going to have as far as character customization is concerned. And then I think in the future, when they open up the cash shop when the game is released, there's going to be cosmetic items in that cash shop. So like skins for your guns, and maybe, for example, skins for your knife. Now, when you first start playing Black Squad, you'll notice in the character customization screen that you have access to 3 loadouts. You can take up to 3 loadouts within the game. They're on F1, F2 and F3, and with those loadouts you can take in a primary weapon, a secondary weapon, a knife, a lethal grenade, a non-lethal grenade, and then what I presume is armor, a type of vest. As of right now, there's only one vest that you get, and you have that permanently, and that is a flak jacket. But there'll probably be more vests coming soon when the game actually releases. Now, when you first start playing the game, you have access to 3 primary weapons that are permanent. You have a TAR-21 assault rifle, an MP7A1 submachine gun, and an M11 0K1 sniper rifle. It's a semi-automatic sniper rifle. Now, I want to talk about the UI in the game, specifically the menu UI, the thing that you use to browse matches, to find certain channels within the game. I want to say that the UI looks very very dated as far as out of games concerned. The main menus that you use to navigate, to find a match, everything just looks very, very outdated. I don't know what it is about it. It's just looking at some of the advertisements they have where it's like, finish the tutorial mode for more items. All the text on that looks pixelated and really bad. The pictures look very bad in quality, and it's just in general, the main menu just looks horrible. It needs a facelift. As for the UI within the game, it's not the best UI in the world, but it's definitely something that looks okay and doesn't really need changing from my personal opinion. It's just that the main menu and the menus you use to navigate the game, so the events menu, the inbox menu, the messenger menu, it all looks very dated. Settings, not so much. Settings look fine. It's just the fact that there are advertisements on the main menu, one that says welcome to Black Squad, and it just looks horrible. It looks pixelated. Just everything looks bad about it. So the menus kind of need a facelift. Now, before I actually talk about gameplay, I thought I'd talk about the actual modes that are available within Black Squad right now in the first closed beta test, and talk about the maps that are available for those game modes. So the first game mode is Team Deathmatch. That is a maximum of 16 players. The objective of Team Deathmatch is basically to kill the enemy team, and it's the first team to reach the target score wins. Now, for Team Deathmatch, there are two maps. They are medium-sized maps. One is called Tallinn, and the other one is called VBSS. One is kind of like a, I guess what you could call ruined city, a very old city with ruins. It's a mirrored map, and honestly, it has a lot of tight corridors, narrow passageways. There's a lot of nade spam, and also just a lot of hectic gunfire going on in this map. VBSS is a medium-sized map. It is also a mirrored map, although not 100% completely mirrored, but it's somewhat identical. VBSS is a basic ship, I believe. It's the top deck of a ship, and you just fight it out. It's a very, very interesting map as far as map design is concerned, because there's a lot of empty space where nothing happens unless the enemy team manages to push into your spawn. I don't really like the map design for the two Team Deathmatch maps that are available. Then we have something called Classic Match, which is two game modes in a sort of playlist, and of course the maximum players for this is 16. The first game mode is Demolition, kill all enemies or destroy or protect the target area to win. Then you have Assassination, kill all enemies or assistance or protect the VIP to win. Basically, you've got Search and Destroy, where it's like plant the bomb, destroy the bomb to win, or defuse the bomb to win. And then you've got Assassination, which is basically Elimination Pro. It's the first team to basically reach a certain amount of points by eliminating the entire enemy team. As for maps, we have a map called Brooklyn. Brooklyn is very small. It looks slightly mirrored, although not exactly. It's a very odd looking map, but it looks like it would be fun. I've yet to play any of the modes in this sort of playlist. Then we have Dust Shield. Dust Shield is a large map, also looks like a very interesting map, slightly mirrored but not all that much. Then we have a map called Double Wing, which looks very interesting, which isn't mirrored at all. It's quite a weird map, and I've yet to play that. I'm going to give it a go and see what it's like. We have Drop Zone, which is also a very weird map but isn't mirrored, so that's kind of odd that the Team Deathmatch maps are mirrored. And then you've got other maps which are slightly mirrored but then not completely mirrored. Some things are mirrored, some things aren't. It's very a mix bag of tricks, but I don't like the fact that the Team Deathmatch maps are very, very heavily mirrored. Then we have another playlist called Battle Match, which is a maximum of 16 players, and it is basically a game mode called Destruction. Basically what you have to be is the first team to destroy the enemy bases to win, and basically the way this works is you have a certain amount of objectives on the map, ranging from A to E, and basically what you have to do is destroy those objectives, and the way you do that is by shooting the objectives, knifing the objectives, or trying to fire your nades at them, nade launcher, or whether you throw a frag grenade at them, or whether you use a class specific power up, because this is the only game mode that you actually get to use the class system, which I'll explain in a bit more detail. Now with this actual game mode, there's only one map available right now. It's a large map, and it is called Ruined City, and yes, this is a 100% mirrored map. So this is the only game mode within Black Squad you have a class system. Obviously with Black Squad you have free loadouts, and you can take them into any game mode you want to play, but within this specific specific game mode, you have a class system, and there are 4 classes available. You have the Assault class, the Support class, the Commander class, and the Recon class. Now each class has special abilities or power-ups, and they're unlocked with points. Now the way you get points is by taking part in the match. You basically kill people, you assist kills, you do damage to the enemy's objectives, you destroy the enemy's objectives, and while you're playing you're unlocking points, and these points can go towards these power-ups within these classes. Now these classes, the power-ups are referred to as skills, by the way. These classes basically work on the fact that you basically unlock points for that class, and then once you change to another class, the points that you've earned for that class are then lost and you have to start again. So you want to be wary about what classes you're playing and what you're changing to, and if you've got a ton of points, invest those points with certain things that you can use to help your team. So the Assault class has a Claymore skill, and this allows you to set up claymores. They automatically detect enemies and then detonate. You also have the ability to spawn in an M32 launcher. It's a grenade launcher. You can use that to attack the enemy's objective or attack an enemy position. Then you have a Hellpike. This skill basically allows you to call in a Hellpike missile strike on a designated target area. You have a Juggernaut suit, which is kind of like the ultimate if this was a MOBA or Overwatch. It's basically a very, very good power-up or skill, and this basically grants you armor and a minigun. Moving on to the Support class, there is a Medikit skill, which allows you to drop a Medikit, which heals your teammates. It doesn't heal them to full health, but it heals a good percentage of their health. There's also the ability to use the XM25 skill, which basically gives you an XM25 grenade launcher. There's a Sentry Gun skill, which sets up an automated unmanned defense system that attacks enemies within a certain area. For example, they have to be in line of sight of the turret and then within range of the turret for the turret to attack them. Then there's the Artillery Support skill, a skill where a supporting battery bombards the target area that you have designated. Moving on to the Commander class, the Commander has the option to use a Ammo Kit skill, which allows them to place down an ammo pack on the ground, and friendlies can walk over that ammo pack and then they'll receive a certain amount of ammo. As far as the classes are concerned, with skills where you can drop down a certain pack which can heal or rearm friendlies, they are not packs that you can drop down in a certain area that stay there and heal and give friendlies ammo. They're a sort of a one-time use thing. So if you drop down an ammo pack and a friendly walks over it, that's that ammo pack used, and you have to drop down more, and it's the same for health packs. The Commander class has a skill to spawn in an AT4 rocket launcher, which is a projectile launcher which can be used to attack the enemy's objective or enemy's air support if it's an air support which hovers in the air, which we'll get onto a little bit later on when we go down these skills for the Commander class. The next Commander class skill is called the Trophy System. Now this is a defensive turret that automatically intercepts incoming projectiles, so that's grenades, lethal, non-lethal, and rocket launchers. It works for a bit and then obviously it will get damaged and destroyed, and it's a good way to protect yourself in a confined area. Then the Commander has a Heli Support license, so this skill calls in air support from attack helicopter, and what the attack helicopter does is it floats around the map and it attacks random enemies that it has line of sight on. So if you're within a building, you're not going to get attacked by the helo, but if you are somebody who is running out in the open and the helo sees you and it locks onto you, you will get attacked by the helo and killed by it. Moving on to the Recon class, the Recon class has a skill to basically call in a UAV drone to detect the enemy's location. I'm not entirely sure whether this actually detects the enemies for friendlies. I'm pretty sure it's just for the class you have. Then the Recon class has a skill called Sonar Vision, which equips you with a visual system integrated with thermal imagery and sonar technology, so you can see enemies through walls and basically see them on the minimap. Then the Recon class has a skill called the Steyr 50, I believe, or Steyr 50. It's basically a powerful anti-material sniper rifle that explodes on impact, so it's a sniper rifle with explosive bullets. You can use that to attack the enemy's objective or take out their air support if it hovers in the sky. For example, it would be the helo support in this case. Then the Recon class has the ability to call in an airstrike, and this airstrike is obviously locked onto a target location, target area, and then it will bombard that certain target area. So really, I've only played a bit of Team Deathmatch, a bit of Search and Destroy, and a bit of Destruction, and out of those game modes, I really enjoyed playing Destruction, but that's because it's quite a unique game mode, because I haven't seen a game recently that's done a game mode like this. It's the only unique game mode that this multiplayer online first-person shooter has that makes this game stand out. It's that Destruction mode. So what I've talked about the most here is gameplay elements. I'm going to talk about the actual gameplay and my experience of playing the game. For me, the game is a decent free-to-play online first-person shooter, but it's not the best free-to-play online first-person shooter, and it's not the worst. It's decent. It's worth playing, so if you would like to check out this game when it's released, there's a link in the description below that will take you to the Steam store page. Just go ahead and check that out, but it's definitely worth playing. I don't know how the game's going to be shaped up as far as the actual, cash shop's concerned, but as far as gameplay is concerned, some minor sort of pet peeves that I have with this game is there are some issues with the game's hit detection as of right now. Some things seem like they're not registering, other things do register. It's a bit odd. I think that's due to there being some players with really high ping and other players that have really low ping, and it's just really odd. Sometimes I've died by being shot around the corner, and that person has literally then run around the corner as they've shot me. It's a bit weird. So in some cases there are some issues, but again, this is a closed beta test, so hopefully those issues get ironed out. As for gameplay, the gameplay is okay. I'm not liking the whole gunplay. The gunplay is okay, but it does have a few issues. Those issues being the fact that you can actually just run and spray your gun, and it's quite accurate. It's not 100% accurate, but it is fairly accurate. So there isn't enough inaccuracy when running. That's something that doesn't really exist. As for the damage model of the guns, it seems okay as far as the damage is concerned, but something that I've noticed is the fact that with actually shooting someone in the head, there's a chance of actually getting a critical shot. So there's an element of RNG with the actual gunplay, and that doesn't really happen with shooting other parts of the body. It's only with the head. So you can land a sort of like really high damage shot with a headshot, more damage you can do to the arms, to the legs, to the torso, to the chest, but you can also get a critical hit, a fatal hit as it's called, which means you can basically do more damage than you'd normally do from a headshot, which that's a bit of RNG. I don't like that. That's kind of stupid. Also, it seems like the hitboxes are a bit weird. The torso starts from like the top half of the legs, which is really weird, and what I mean by that is like the legs at sort of like thigh height seem to be your torso, and that's what the game registers as your torso for some reason, even though they're still your legs. And then you've got your torso, and then you've got chest. Arms are a bit weird. You can shoot somebody's arm at the sort of shoulder, sort of down from the shoulder blade on their actual arm, and it will register as a chest or body shot, which is a bit weird. Again, that's their arms. But yeah, the hitboxes are a bit funny. Hit detection is a bit funny. So hopefully they get ironed out throughout the closed beta test before the game launches. As for the gunplay, it needs to be tweaked a little, and I don't think it will be. The reason I'm saying this is because this game has been out in the Asian market. It is tailored towards an Asian audience. Maybe they will change things, but it seems very unlikely because this game is very old, and because, it's something that they are, like I said, developing, but they're not really developing. The game's complete as it is. That's what the game is. So maybe they can change things, maybe they can't. If there's a community that is developed from this game and the community has a bit of outcry about how the game runs, how the game plays out, then maybe they'll change stuff. I don't know. But I'm not a big fan of the gunplay. It's okay, but it also has problems. Also, something I'm not a big fan of is some random flinching you'll see when you shoot enemies. The enemies seem to flinch quite a lot. That's really annoying. So you're shooting someone and then they flinch and you're like, well, what's happened there? It's a bit weird. So the way to describe it is you shoot someone and then their character like moves because they've been hit, they've been shot, so the character moves. And that kind of puts you off aiming because you feel like because their character model has moved with this animation of them being hit, also their hitbox has been moving with it, but it doesn't seem to be the case. So it's kind of odd seeing those animations, which is really annoying. One thing I don't like about this game is the aim punch. Within Counter-Strike, if you don't have armor, you basically take something which is called aim punch, where like if you get shot while not having armor on, you basically, your character's like camera goes up and it's like as if you've been punched in the face. If you wear armor, you don't get aim punch. Now it seems like in Black Squad you have armor on, but you sort of feel like some sort of aim punch as well as aim slow. So in Counter-Strike, if you get shot, you're slowed down a bit. So you can't basically just run and gun, jump around and spray people. You can't do that. In Black Squad, you can sort of do that, but you get aim punched and slowed at the same time, which is very frustrating and annoying as someone who's played Counter-Strike. It's just something that I've taken away from playing through the closed beta test. Maybe that'll get changed, maybe it won't. who knows, but it's something that I find annoying personally. So final thoughts on the closed beta test so far. Black Squad is quite an enjoyable game. It is a free-to-play online first-person shooter. They haven't showed their true colors yet, so I don't know whether there's going to be a cash shop with pay-to-win weapons, but I guess we'll find that out when the game launches. But as of right now, it's a decent free-to-play online first-person shooter. Like I said, it's not the best, it's not the worst, it's decent, and it's definitely worth you playing if you want to try out a new free-to-play online first-person shooter, or if you want a game that's free and you want to try it with friends, mess around and have a bit of fun and not take too seriously. Although they are trying to get a competitive scene going for this game, and this game does have a successful competitive scene within the Asian market, specifically Korea. So all in all, this game is a generic free-to-play online first-person shooter, but it's definitely worth checking out if you have the time. I will be coming back to this game when the game fully releases on Steam. I'm going to be checking out the cash shop and seeing if anything is pay to win, if anything's overpowered. I'm also going to be seeing what kind of changes they make from now up until release, whether they go out of their way to actually update the game and change it drastically in order to make the European and North American audiences happy. If you got to play the Black Squad closed beta sessions, then let me know what you thought about the game in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did in fact enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like. Unfortunately, if you didn't enjoy this video, there's always a dislike button, and if you'd like to see more content like this or more content by me, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And as always, I will see you in my next video.